Happy holidays. Or, well, the holidays happen, but now we are moving into the new year soon, very shortly, or have we already? I don't know. Depending on when I post this, it will be posted after the holidays. But it's in the wee hours for me, so it's like I have all these ideas. I can't sleep, and you know how it is. Like you get in your creative streak, you're like, go for gold, man. This is the Ruby Garnet Show. I'm your host, Ruby. And feel free to check me out on my website. Check me out on Facebook, which is the Messy Human Tarot. Always contemplating going back to that name, but I like the openness of it all. It's not arrogance, it's just I didn't know what to call this channel. So, hi. I'm not an MIC, I'm not a doctor, I'm not financial, legal advisor. All choices are your own. We have this beautiful thing called free will. Drop anything that doesn't resonate. All that. There might always be the possibility of random channeling. It does occur, but mostly not. So that's why I put that in there, just in case, because it's entertainment value only. For some weird reason, like Star Trek popped up in my brain, and I was like hearing my head, like the Spock, and 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 the doctor dude, like kind of going at it with each other, and someone saying like it's only perfectly logical that we should do it this way, and I'm like, oh, okay. Two forces of us sometimes clash, and that occurs, and I think that's usually because we want to be perfect, right? And I feel you. I do. I really do. And we'll see how that plays out with the tarot card. The tarot card. I wrote an article on that. If you want a funny version of the tarot, feel free to check out my website for the articles. Just scroll all the way down, man. Just scroll all the way down, and it's called the Cat Tower. I cracked myself up because I just couldn't help myself. I really just couldn't help myself. I was like, well, technically, it's not that far off. I mean, cats are a destructive force of nature to be had. And I've heard so many different kind of stories about cats. So I'm like, yep, that's an interesting interpretation of the tarot. But something I got from writing those articles was the understanding that the tower, usually when it comes in a spread, it's, I mean, not always, but sometimes it's indicating either something is a problem in our lives. It's not like, oh, we're gonna have a domino effect, or right now it may mean that, but what it may mean is that we need to look for some red flags to avoid a crisis, because sometimes the tarot is like coming right in the nick of time. And I know we all get uncomfortable when we see the tarot card. I honestly like the tarot card. It's, to me, it's always been seen as a golden opportunity to recognize when now is a good time to shift, to move, to change things up, because through change we can make our lives better. I really do firmly believe that. And we need the Tower card for that, because if we're just kind of walking around life taking things for granted, or walking around thinking everything is hokey dookie pookie wookie, everything's okay, then you can't really improve your life. We need to be able to assess on a regular basis and go like, okay, what in my life right now needs to go, like spring cleaning. I think spring cleaning, sorry for the congestive way of communicating, but like I'm all blocked up. I ain't stopping, man. I ain't stopping. No way, Jose. it doesn't even have to be like, oh, I have to get a new job, or oh, like I need to do this. No, it can be just like you can allow the tower to bring up powerful reflective processes, like what's making you unhappy. And for me, like most often, not lately, it's not about, changing jobs. It's not about that at all. It's not about moving to somewhere new and different. A lot of it is that I recognize the red flags in my life is coming from me, from myself, is is that I have a tendency to live my life without focusing on what makes me feel alive. I'll follow a formula, right? Like, oh, if I do X, Y, and Z, it'll equal to Y. I mean, life isn't math, and honestly, it's more like an art form than a science. And usually, when we kind of live our lives based on a formula, it's only can produce certain results, and those results may seem predictable, may seem easy. However, in my experience, following a formula has led to pretty bad results. And as a young person, I had so many different tower moments, so many different moments where I had to ask myself, like, is this making me happy being an LMHC? Is this working out really well for me? Am I living my best life? Am I connecting to my highest source of all, and that is good in me? Like, am I alive? Am I feeling good about what I'm doing here? And I found out the hard truth of the matter was like, no. And that is a tower moment. And the tower card wants us to be like able to say, no, actually, no, this isn't working. I need to change my life. I need to drastically shift away from what is causing me misery. And I did that. I moved away. I didn't want to be an LMHC. I didn't do that. I didn't finish that degree. Thank God. And some people would be like, well, like if you kept going, you would have been able to do like have a remote job. You could be like at home working and picking up clients and things like that. But as I worked as an RBT, I got a really good sense of what that would actually look like. And I kind of saw that a little bit in my internship. And in all honesty, it didn't seem that very stable. It didn't, it felt like you had to work hard to get clients. And, what I was looking for was, a sense of empowerment. I was looking for, if I'm being honest, I was looking for financial funding for my writing career. Does that sound like a good reason to be an LMHC? No, that did not sound like I went into it for the joy and the zest of it all. No, I didn't do it to feel alive. A minute. And so, coming back to the tower card again, right? When we do our reflective processes, we can actually make better choices before we get to crisis mode. Because if I had continued that degree and without this internal process, it would have led to a bigger crisis, which can look like all kinds of different things. Like, I'll give you an example. Sometimes what happens when we're not living our most highest true self, or trying to live authentic life, what happens is we have no choice but to kind of numb out, disconnect to the reality of our current circumstances. And sometimes that can look like substance use, over shopping. It can look like just maybe you might be doing just some risky kind of behavior. And so that can lead maybe to other situations, like maybe you, like say, for instance, if you're using substance use to disconnect to the reality that all that is, maybe you run into a situation where you have a car crash, you lose your access to getting to your job. There's a great many things that can lead to a crisis. It doesn't have to be the same for everyone. And this is why I do firmly believe when you see the tarot card, you have to go through a reflective process for the most part. Or if you feel tower energy in the air, because, sometimes that's all you need to avert a crisis, is knowing yourself and asking yourself, who am I? How can I live a more authentic life? As someone who's trying to become a writer, and I'm starting to develop a portfolio, I know like there's a lot of skills that is required in writing, like editing, practicing the trade, getting good at it, finding the time to do it first, but doing it even in the wee hours. Um, and so if you ever check my stuff, you see a couple grammar or spelling errors. It's because I'm learning the trade all over again. I had to because I had to practice, and that allows me to feel more authentic to who I am. And it allows me to make forward progress in what is best for myself. So that way I can stay out of crisis, because it's a coping skill, one, but also two, it brings me joy. It brings me this sense of feeling alive. Sorry. By the way, I'm sorry if all these videos and everything just are kind of like, I don't get a lot of time. And once I have an idea, I gotta really quick to throw it out there. And so I don't always have time to make it look perfect. And it's just life, really. My website looks a lot better than this, honestly. And a lot of that's because of AI. Woohoo! Yay, AI. But to kind of get back to the Tower card, though, I mean, if we look at the stereotypical interpretations, it's like there's a catastrophic event. But I don't really think it has to be about destruction or chaos or the crumbling all of a sudden, like an all of a sudden crumbling of the structure in your life of, I had this dream like years ago about being up high in a tower, being trapped, and I think sometimes a tower can represent a feeling of being trapped with uncontrollable circumstances, factors, consequences of some kind that leads you to feel like your life is out of control. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could literally be that that there is something in your life that needs to go and should go before it's forced to go. Because very often when it's forced to go, something had to get really bad. Something had to be ignored on a regular basis. You had to actively disconnect, actively ignore. And that's a bigger problem when we are actively numb, actively in la la land, actively pursuing, ignoring real life problems that are getting bigger by the moment. And I keep seeing in my mind's eye the ladybug lately. I feel like for someone out there, there is some really good fortune coming your way. Like I feel like you don't feel like you deserve it at all. I'm getting a little emotional about that. I'm sorry. Oh my god. But there are some real changes that need to occur, right? and they're overwhelming for a good reason. And I think that it helps a little bit to know that someone's looking out for us, right? So just remember that. Just remember that. Think about the ladybug, okay? That there is some good in the world and that there is light ready to bless you, and anything, everything that is you and occurring now. Oh, sorry, that's really, I did not, I caught me off guard. Give me a moment. I'm getting some voice track issues too. I wasn't expecting that. Okay. Like you feel like, I think you feel stilted and stunted, and you've been going a path that is not meeting your needs, and um something else, like almost like things could be better for you. Yeah, things could be really better. Feel free to check out my website in the About Us. Just scroll down again for my services if you are interested. I have to be careful with accidental channels and channeling in sorry, like, oh my god, channeling on this show. A lot of what I do is about personal transformation. I like to term myself as a personal transformation tarot reader. And a lot of that's for a good reason, because more often than not, whether I like it, whether you like it, is, especially if you like it, it's great, it's golden, right? But some people are uncomfortable with that, and it's okay. Don't worry about it. Like, I keep seeing the ladybug for you, whoever you are out there. Like, it just pops up and saying, like, like, you're okay, you're gonna be okay. It's like almost like a double confirmation. I saw a lot of like and the number 1221's popping up for me, and for whatever reason spirit wants me to at least touch on 1221. So my sense of this is an angel number. It may not look like an angel number, but it is an angel number for you, because we're getting to some completions. You're getting close to the pinnacle of something, where it's like almost like a tower moment, but not like everything could go well for you. Like, you've worked really hard for something, and everything could work out really well for you. If you just got to make sure you're authentic, you're striving for what's best for your highest self and for you, right? And 12 for me is a big deal, because it's like the whole year, right? The whole year is coming up. So this is like major arcana energy. It's like, it's a big deal. But we have, like, you have to take a step towards this big deal. You also do have to have some balance in your life. But and this is the interesting thing too, is there's a rhythm behind it. Practicing, right? We have to practice at something, and you'll get into the groove of it over time. So kind of like let go of having control over your life, and let go of feeling like you need to know everything right now, because it's all going to make sense over time. Does that make sense for you? And the word inverted, like inverted something, inverted, I'm not sure what inverted necessarily means for you, but I do have to wrap up in a little while, because we're getting to the 20-minute mark. But if you liked anything you heard, please like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on the Messy Human Tarot on Facebook. Check out my website. Feel free to email me. Whatever, floats your boat, guys. You can ask for a lot of the readings I do are oh, sorry, give me a minute. Whew. I'm trying to think. My brain just died on me. But I do it in a couple of different ways. I can do it like in advance, where we set up a live reading, but it has to be done in advance, because I need to be able to make sure I can honor the time the presence of all that is you. If not in advance, if you want to happen faster, I can make a pre-recording of it and send it to you. One moment. But yes, we could do a pre-recording, whether it's through Facebook Messenger. Maybe I can do it written down where I can write it out for you. Maybe a couple different ways. Some of it I have to kind of figure out on the go because I'm doing everything on a budget right now. Figure to be a little honest with you. Audio recordings might be a little tricky, but it's not impossible. I can figure it out. But yeah, I think that's really it. That's it. I don't know why I felt like called to do that, but I felt like it. So Merry Meet Blessed Be, I'm into good health, and I wish you all the best. And yeah, don't feel too bad about the tarot card. And tarot cards naturally intimidating for everyone. So, all right.